Watching someone poison your husband against you for 3 years is torture. Walking into her office and revealing you're the majority owner of her company and you're shutting it down, that's power she never saw coming. I'm Victoria Hayes, 38 years old. For 3 years, my husband's business mentor, Diane, convinced him I was holding him back, that I was controlling, unsupportive, that leaving me would unlock his potential. She nearly succeeded in destroying our 15-year marriage. Yesterday, I walked into Diane's office. She smiled, condescending. "Victoria, what brings you here?" I said, "I'm here about your business, specifically about the ownership structure you've never bothered to check." I placed documents on her desk, corporate filings, ownership records, showing that I, through my investment LLC, own 65% of her company. I've had it for 2 years, silent investor, anonymous until now. Her smile vanished. "That's impossible. I own my company." "You own 35%. I own the rest. And as of this morning, I'm exercising my controlling interest. The board voted. You're removed as CEO, effective immediately. The company is being dissolved, sold for parts. You're unemployed." She went white. 3 years of destroying my marriage ended because she never knew I owned her livelihood. This is the story of how silent ownership became the perfect revenge. Before I tell you how I secretly bought her company, before you hear what my husband said when he learned the truth, hit like now. Comment on your city. This is about owning what they think they control. 4 years ago, Ryan met Diane at a business conference. She ran a consulting firm, Hayes Strategy Group. Successful, well-connected, 15 years in business. Ryan was launching his own startup, tech company, needed guidance. Diane offered to mentor him. "I see potential. Let me help you unlock it." Year 1, the mentorship seemed positive. Ryan was learning, growing, making connections through Diane. But she started planting seeds. Ryan would come home repeating things. Diane says successful entrepreneurs need total focus, no distractions. She mentioned that spouses can sometimes hold founders back, not intentionally, just different priorities. I said, "I support your business, always have." He said, "I know, she's just giving general advice." Year 2, the poison intensified. Diane's advice became pointed, personal. Diane says my wife should be more involved in networking, help me make connections. You don't really do that. I was a librarian, made $60,000 a year, managed our home, raised our 2 kids. I didn't network because that wasn't my world, but Diane made it sound like a failure. She thinks you're intimidated by my success, that you prefer me staying small so you stay comfortable. Not true. I'd encouraged every risk, every opportunity, but Diane framed my support as sabotage. Year 3, she went for the kill, started suggesting divorce, through Ryan's words. Diane says founders often realize their partners aren't aligned with their vision. Sometimes you have to make hard choices, choose the business or choose the comfort. She mentioned her friend who left his wife. His business tripled after that, said removing dead weight is sometimes necessary. Ryan started pulling away, emotionally, physically, spending more time with Diane, business strategy sessions. I was losing my husband to someone who'd convinced him I was the problem, that our 15-year marriage was holding him back. Our kids noticed. Why doesn't Dad come to dinner anymore? Why is he always at Diane's office? I tried talking to Ryan. Diane is poisoning you against me. Can't you see it? He said, "You're jealous of my success, of my mentor. Diane warned me you'd react this way." She'd preempted my objections, made me the villain before I could defend myself. Then I discovered something that changed everything. 2 years ago, I inherited money. My grandmother died, left me $850,000, a life-changing amount for a librarian making $60,000. Ryan didn't know the exact amount. I told him Grandma left some money, enough to secure the kids' college funds. I put $200,000 in college funds. Truth. The other $650,000 I invested strategically, quietly. I'd been researching Diane's company for months, out of suspicion, jealousy maybe, but also curiosity. Hayes Strategy Group, consulting firm, 15 employees, $3 million in annual revenue, profitable but struggling with cash flow, overextended. I found something interesting. Diane was seeking investors, had been for a year, needed capital injection, $600,000 to $800,000, to stabilize operations, fund expansion. She'd approached several VCs, all passed. Service businesses don't scale well. Too much revenue concentration in the founder. She was desperate, running out of options. I created an LLC, Sterling Capital Partners, named after my grandmother, Margaret Sterling. Anonymous ownership, professional structure. I approached Diane's company through a business lawyer, professional, legitimate. The offer? $650,000 for 65% equity. Aggressive, but reflecting the company's desperate position. Diane's lawyer pushed back. 65% is too much. Standard investment is 20 to 30% for that amount. My lawyer responded, "Your client has no other offers. Cash flow crisis in 90 days without this investment. This is a take-it-or-leave-it offer. Decide." Diane took it, signed the documents, 65% of her company to Sterling Capital Partners. She kept 35%, stayed as CEO, operational control. But I, the silent majority owner, had ultimate authority, could remove the CEO, dissolve the company, make all major decisions. She never knew Sterling Capital was me, never bothered to research, just saw the money, took it, kept destroying my marriage. For 2 years, Diane worked for me, while trying to steal my husband, while telling him I was worthless. The irony was exquisite, but I wasn't ready to reveal it yet. For 2 years, I watched. As the majority owner, I had access to everything: board minutes, financial records, company communications. I learned things, disturbing things. Discovery 1. Diane was billing Ryan's company excessive consulting fees, $15,000 monthly, for strategic advisory services. The market rate was $5,000 to $8,000 for what she provided. She was overcharging my husband by $100,000 plus annually while telling him she was helping him. Discovery: the market was telling other clients about Ryan's business, confidential information, strategy, financial data, using his company as a case study without permission, ethics violation, breach of trust, illegal disclosure of proprietary information. Discovery 3. Her personal expenses were being charged to the company. Dinners with Ryan labeled business development, weekend trips labeled client meetings, personal shopping labeled professional wardrobe. Fraud, misuse of company funds, my company funds. $47,000 in inappropriate expenses over 2 years, documented, categorized, ready to present. Discovery 4. Messages to her business partner, emails discussing Ryan. "I'm almost ready to leave Victoria, just need to push a bit more. Once he's divorced, he'll be more focused and maybe available." She wasn't just a mentor, she wanted Ryan romantically, was destroying our marriage to have him. I saved everything, built a case: financial mismanagement, ethics violations, fraud, personal misconduct. waited for the right moment. Last month, Ryan came home, said, "I want a divorce. Diane's right. You're holding me back. I need to choose my business. I choose the business." 15 years, 2 kids, a life together, thrown away because Diane convinced him I was the problem. I said, "Before you file, there's something you should know about Diane, about her business, about what she's been doing." He said, "Nothing you say will change my mind." I said, "I own her business, 65% of it. I'm her boss, have been for 2 years." He laughed. "That's ridiculous. You're a librarian. You don't own businesses." I showed him the documents. Sterling Capital Partners, corporate filings. My name is the managing partner. Ownership records, 65% of Hayes Strategy Group. His face changed. You own Diane's company?" "Yes, and I've been watching. Everything. The excessive fees she charges you, $100,000 overcharged in 2 years, the confidential information she's disclosed about your business, the personal expenses she's charged to